you so much for coming this evening to our annual holiday winter concert. Before you is Mixed Chorus Period 7. This year I'm so fortunate that I have so many singers coming in. For the first time we've developed 2 mixed choruses, and this is the one that meets Period 7 each day, and in a little while you'll meet Mixed Chorus Period 4. Our next song is from a Broadway musical called I'm Getting My Act Together and Taking It on the Road. And the title, if you'll refer to your program, is called Natural High. And I told these guys that I would say something about this particular song. I sang this song when I was in high school, so it's that old. And I think it says something specifically about our time right now, because whether you're aware of it or not, probably you are, the new issue with schools and with society is this vaping that is just all over the place. And I said to these guys that this song is specifically telling you that there is something other than chemicals and substances to put in your body to give you that high. And one of them is being, thank you so much. And one of them is being singing and performing. And I think these guys enjoy this thing that they've gotten themselves into. So the chorus of this is, music is my one salvation, singing is my celebration, and playing in a rock and roll band is a natural high. So I hope you enjoy Natural High.
That phone just keeps on ringing and somebody's at my door.
has coordinates our yearbook each year, and we take a picture, a photograph for the yearbook, and he knows he's so patient with me that our plan was to take the picture after the first song of each group, and you should see we're now on to the third song. So I hope Mr. Valente is already back there, and if you'll be patient, we'll take a quick photo for our yearbook.
Hanukkah is the Jewish festival of lights. It is a celebration that lasts for 8 days and commemorates the victory of the Maccabees over the Syrian king Antiochus in 165 BC. Upon their victory, the Maccabees set out on an 8-day dedication of the temple. As the story is told, only one jar of pure oil was found to light the flame of thanksgiving. Such a small amount normally would have provided light for 1 day. However, the flame burned brightly for 8 days and nights until more oil could be prepared. This was regarded as a miracle by the Jews, and today, the festival of Hanukkah celebrates that miracle.
transition, that was one mixed chorus group, and the next is coming up, period 4, and I had once again the pleasure of working with an all-treble voice choir. So you'll notice that that had a whole bunch of guys singing in it, so we were able to do 4-part music, soprano, alto, tenor, bass. And the group that's coming up next is only treble voices, so it's soprano 1, soprano 2, alto 1, and alto 2. So it gives you a chance to work on a whole different set of musical literature. I have, within those two ensembles, close to 100 ninth graders singing, which is really exciting.
Street.
singing as well too. But can you hear the difference of just all that beautiful treble sound up there? They're just doing a great job. We are now going to sing our Hanukkah piece. I know that Hanukkah was a little while ago, but we can still celebrate and remember. So this is Sivivon, but it is Sivivon that breaks down into 4 different parts. And as it moves along, you'll see it get more and more complex. So listen for each of the 4 parts to come in. So proud of both of the mixed choruses and how hard they've worked. Many of them haven't really ever sung in a choir before. So for both ensembles to come up and start singing in 4-part harmony this early in the year is pretty impressive. I can't wait to see where they're going to go from here for the spring. Next up on the risers are members of our madrigal singers. And madrigal singers, in addition to concert choir, have already performed numerous places around the city, and have also had the opportunity to perform in the State House in Boston on the Grand Staircase. We love that performance, and they always make called in so proud with their behavior and performance and their skill. These are madrigal singers. That's a brand new song that I gave them for the first time this year. Actually, those first two songs are brand new. None of my madrigal singers have ever sung them before. And so the translation to that last one isn't anything too hard, but you probably don't know what we're talking about. We're talking about latkes that are really hot coming out of the fire. Ow, ow, oh, it's hot. Oisi's heiß. Oh, it's hot. So that's what they're saying. And it's frantic because, oh, they're so hot. Our next piece we sing annually every year, and it's one of my favorites called Fum Fum Fum.
On December 5 and 20,
need to include any translations of all the language pieces that we're doing this evening, but this next one I feel like I need to because I educated myself. I thought we were going to sing you another Hanukkah piece, but as it turns out, it's not. We're going to keep this one for the spring as well, but we had already learned it, and it's a really kind of a cool piece called Cheery Beam. And here's the story about what we're going to sing. All of this, it's Yiddish, and it's a big, long story, and I think that you'd like to know what's happening. So here's the translation. Oh, let us sing, children, a little song together, a simple, happy tune with words that rhyme. Mama cooks noodle soup with kasha and with knedlach, and when the holiday of Purim comes, we will play with dreidels. That's the first verse. Second verse doesn't seem to be related. Once our dear rabbi was going down the road when suddenly rain started pouring down. The rabbi shouted to the storm clouds, "Stop pouring this water." So all of the Hasidim came out dry, and only the rabbi came out wet. So that's the story, and you'll hear a lot of cheery beat and cheery ball. this is our Hanukkah piece for the season. I gave them something really challenging. It flies by. Again, it has a whole bunch of Yiddish. Again, it's Yiddish, not Hebrew. And I think they really enjoyed the challenge of getting all of this language. Lots of sections I hope you enjoy.
Victory!
So pieces like that, I hope you got all the text, because that's what that piece is all about, painting this picture. But more than that, that piece is slowing down and speeding up, and I was doing things with the choir where it's slightly different than we'd ever done it before. And I don't know if you can see them watching me so carefully when I'm going to put that cutoff on and put those constants. And this group is working particularly hard this year, so that we're not just sort of pressing play and playing a song and singing it through the same way every time, but we're really musicians, and we actually can create something on the spot together, and that's when it's really exciting. And I'm so lucky that this group is capable of doing that, and they want to do it, which is really kind of fun. So I thank them for that. Our next piece is from the musical Anastasia. We have one more song before our final number, and I know that there are a lot of alumni out there, and I want to get the alumni prepared because you are required to be up here, right? It's your once a year that you get to come back, so get ready. Before we sing our number just before that, which is a beautiful French carol, Il est né, I'd like to say a few thank yous to a whole bunch of people that make this happen for us. This doesn't just happen out of luck. There are a lot of people supporting us throughout the year, and I just want to thank them. Superintendent O'Terry, I know I've seen you here tonight. You're such a great supporter to coming to everything. Mayor Christensen always comes to everything. Our assistant superintendent as well. I shouldn't leave her out as well. School committee members are faithful for coming to everything. Principal Mastrangelo is so great about stopping in and just listening. The other day, he came in and sat in the seat during our rehearsal, and I said, "Did you need somebody?" He goes, "No, I'm just making myself feel better listening to this great choir." So he really enjoys and supports us. All the faculty, for every time that I've held these students a couple minutes extra after the bell rings and being patient. Our custodial staff here is phenomenal. Steve and Jerry and Larry and John, anything that we need, they're there and ready to help us out. Our students at the Sound and Lighting Board back there, thank you so much for stepping in. Miss Mazza, our instrumental teacher at Walden High School, is nonstop support. We've got 5 section leaders and a choir manager within that group that I can always count on. Mrs. McKean, Cindy McKean, is at the piano. Let's give her a round of applause. Before we finish, you were giving thanks to us in the form of applause. We're also going to have Jaleel and Michael, I believe, in the back right as you leave. We don't charge for our concerts, but any support would be great if you would like to throw $1 or $5 or $20 in the bucket on your way out. We'll put it to great work. In fact, this group has some special things that they want to do, and it could defray some of those costs this year. So I hope you enjoy first Ile Nay, and then our final piece of the evening, O Holy Night. Alumni, come on out. We have 2 wonderful seniors sharing with you the 2 verses of Old Holy Night this evening. And the first is Jenna Vanella, and the second is Michelle Chan.
As the alumni come up, I just want to say thank you to Mr. Cole. They've done so much for us, and Michelle and Jenna got you flowers and cards, and you already got her. I just want to say thank you to Miss McKean. She's always been supporting us, learning the piano at her own time. And Mr. Cole has always just been a great role model for, if not all, most of us. I just want to say thank you.
Spring concert. Thank you.